I have been writing books, started in 2010, quite by chance. I started with, my first book was House at Butterfingers. I created, and then from then on, it's been a pretty fast journey, you could say, in the sense, there are 13 books now that I have come out with, which, thank you, which kind of is one a year, I think. Those who are familiar with maths know, I have to calculate that also, okay? Yeah.
Average.
So this is, so I'll just tell you, because we have only 40 minutes, and I would like to give 10 minutes for the students to, yes, ask me some questions. So Manish, you must tell me when I must stop, because there are two things that will keep me talking for a long time. One is that I was teaching in a college, so you know how teachers never stop talking. And then I'm talking about my books, which I'm very passionate about, so I'll not stop talking. So you're in double danger. And Manish is there, who is going to see that I stop at the right time. You just have to say stop. I'll stop immediately. I'm very obedient. Yeah. So I will start with Butterfingers, and then go on to the other books that I have written. Now, as he said, I write humorous books. The reason is because I like humorous books. In my house, quite a lot of humor is used. And I also write because I want to make children happy. You people are stressed out, aren't you? No? Okay. Anyway, you like to laugh, I hope. Yes. You like to amuse yourself. You like to read something that makes you happy. That's why you read, don't you? How many of you are readers? How many like to read books? Oh, yes. All of you should put up your hands. No? Never mind if you're telling a lie for the first time. So it's nice to see so many hands, and all of you are readers, and you read because you enjoy reading. You love books. You become the characters. You get into the book, the pages of the book. You be with the characters in whatever adventures they are in joy, in sorrow, in fantasy, in terrible times, happy times, in outer space, underground, inside the sea, on the mountains. So that is what imagination does to you, and the writer takes you on this journey. Now coming to my books, I created this character called Butterfingers. Now nobody calls a child Butterfingers, right? I can't imagine a mother and father, when a baby is born, saying, "You're such a sweet baby, I will call you Butterfingers." It is very clearly a nickname. So my character, this boy is 13 years old. I think some of you must be 13 here? Yes, yes. So he is your age, all right? His real name is Amar Kishan. And he has been nicknamed Butterfingers by none other than his father. When he was a little baby, he was forever dropping things. See, Butterfingers is the nickname you give people who have butter. You know, if you have butter on your fingers, things slip and fall, right? So I am a Butterfingers. I keep dropping things. Not all the time, but often. What about you? All Butterfingers? Yes. So we are in a room of Butterfingers. So Amar is this 13-year-old boy who is studying in a school called Green Park Higher Secondary School. And he is tall, thin, and so tall that his friends ask him, "How is the weather up there?" And he is very, you can't expect a boy whose nickname is Butterfingers, who carries disaster with him, who is accident prone, who says he wants to help people. When he says, "I will help you," his friends and anybody says, "Please don't help us." Because the best help is that you don't help us. When he helps them, what happens? He and his friends are always taking the same route. You know which route? To the principal's room. Yes. So he's got a group of friends. So his closest friend is a boy called Kiran Reddy, who is short and fat. All right? So they are the opposite. So Amar says, "Kiran, you are designed like this to catch what I drop. I'll drop from there, you catch from here, down here." And then he's got another friend called Arjun, who loves music so much, an eccentric boy, long hair, one earring. You teachers won't approve of him at all. And he is always playing music all, anything in his hand becomes a guitar. A book, this mic, anything. And his head is in the clouds all the time, doesn't listen to anything anybody says, and then comes back to earth suddenly. There's another boy called Thomas who always asks questions. They call him Question Box, all right? It's a boys' school, but there's one girl in it. Because I didn't want to leave girls out. A lot of girls love Butterfingers. So when I started writing, it was a boys' school, but it became not a co-ed school, but a school with one girl, then one more girl I brought in, all right? And then there is this boy Thomas who keeps asking questions all the time, and he is therefore called the Question Box. If you ask him a question, he will reply with another question. Where are you going, Thomas? Why do you want to know? So that is how he is. There is Kishore who loves English so much, his English teacher is scared of him. His reading skills are so high. Now these are the group of friends that he has, and Amar leads them. Now this first book, Butterfingers, I hope you're following me. I'm not speaking too fast. Okay? Yeah. So this is the first book. It's How's at Butterfingers. All right? How's at Butterfingers? How's that? Familiar? Didn't we watch recently? 2020 World Cup? How's that? Out. How's that? Out. We were getting out too often, especially the final. Anyway, so how's that is what is the appeal when a bowler, a batsman is hit on the pads and the bowler appeals. He says, how's that? The umpire doesn't look at him at all. How's that? The umpire just looks. How's that? And poor umpire says out. And forever makes an enemy of the batsman. Anyway, this is a cricket-based fun story. So what happens is, very briefly, Amar's school the previous year had a competition which was organized by Colonel Nadkarni, who owns the playground of their school. They don't have a playground. The school doesn't have a playground. And Colonel Nadkarni loves children, allows them to play there. He started a competition called the Colonel Nadkarni Under 15 Inter-School Rolling Trophy Cricket Tournament. Very short name. Huh? Yeah. So that is the tournament. And the previous year, Green Park School came into the finals. All right? And they lost the finals by 1 run. Last ball. Last runs to get, last batsman at the crease. Amar thinks to himself, I will run whether I connect or not. Kiran is on the other side. Somehow he connects, he starts running. He's running fast. And Kiran is rolling from the other side, all right? Because he's running as fast as he can. And as Amar goes, he drops his bat. All right? Don't ask me why. Amar doesn't need a reason to drop things. He drops his bat. And instead of just continuing, because you just need to come into the crease, he goes back to get the bat. Now Kiran is just wants to finish the run, so he is running. Amar is rushing. Both of them collide. Big bang. Kiran's bat goes flying, some gloves go flying, Amar goes flying. Kiran doesn't go flying. Why? Gravity won't allow it. So they are scattered there, and the St. Joseph boys look at them and think, who should we run out? Both can be run out, and Amar gets run out. So they lose. And his dear friends, very considerate friends, every day they ask him, how did we lose the match? Because this idiot cannot hold on to the bat. Why did we lose the match? Because the stupid went back to get the bat. So Amar is having nightmares about it. So when this book begins, the next year's competition, they want to win it, all right? And they also realize that they are going to lose the playground. They want the playground. Imagine a school without a playground. So they are trying to get the playground. These are the two things that are there in this fun book, lot of fun in it. Now
Hello.
The second, yes, so that is How's at Butterfingers. The next is a football-based book called Goal Butterfingers novel. You should read it because World Cup is around the corner. Amar has this brilliant idea. He always has brilliant ideas, as I told you. He wants to have a World Cup tournament in school. How do you have a World Cup in school? Ask Amar. He knows. He manages that. And there are other complications. A pesticide factory is coming up, they get involved in that. We don't want a pesticide factory. We don't want pollution. Say no to pollution. You know, all kinds of things. So it's another fun book. And they have a new teacher who they don't think she's a teacher. She doesn't know how to smile. She glares at them all the time. She scolds them all the time. She looks like she's sucking on a lime, so they call her sourpuss. Who is this English teacher? All right, so that's another question. Third book is Clean Bowl Butterfingers, which is another cricket-based novel where they lose all the cricket gear. Some thief has stolen them all, and finally Amar invents a new game called Cracket, not cricket, Cracket, where you play with a ball that is not a cricket ball. Okay. And a bat that could be anything but a cricket bat. So they have a tournament and different rules. Every over, one ball has to be bowled should be a fruit or a vegetable. Fruit or a vegetable. Not so hard that it hits you on the head and you are done for. Not so soft that it hits you on the face and it becomes instant orange juice. But it has to be such that you can hit. If you don't crack it, 6 runs. If you crack it, you're out. And they have a competition, they find out who the thief is and so on. Followed by 3 other collections of short stories, all right? Dealing with Humour and his friends. And the latest book that came out last year, Smash It, Butterfingers. Smash It, Butterfingers, which is a badminton-based novel, where there is this eccentric man who wants a badminton, who doesn't believe in superstitions. So he wants a badminton competition on Friday the 13th. And what happens, all right? So I don't want to tell you anything further. Now, those are fun stories. Do you agree they will be fun? Yes? You laugh when you read the books?
Absolutely.
I have not told you much more because I'm always conscious of time and conscious of Manish looking at his watch, waiting to blow the whistle. Yes, that's it. Stop. I have also been writing stories for children, all right. My stories, as I was telling, not Divya, the other lady, they are for ages 10 to 100. All right? Below 10 also can read. Above 100, if you live that long, you are most welcome to read. But what I mean is, older people can also enjoy them. So those are these Butterfingers books and these books which are animal-based stories. One is The Lizard of Oz and Other Stories. You have heard of Wizard of Oz? Wizard of Oz, famous book. Not very famous, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I just played on the word wizard and made it lizard because I wanted to write about a lizard. I saw a lizard on the wall. There are lots of lizards on my wall in my house in Trivandrum. If you come there, I will show you. And that is how I thought of Lizard of Oz. Now, Lizard of Oz, I got the title, no story. Then I thought, okay, what story? Sometimes we write like that. You have a title, no story. And I thought, okay, Oz is also a short form for Australia. So I'll put my lizard in Australia. I did that. Now, what is the lizard? I don't know anything about lizards in Australia. What do I do now? I brought the lizard to India. I brought him to Divya Shah's land, Mumbai. I got the lizard to fall into a shoe, the shoe to go into a shoebox, the shoebox to go into a suitcase, the suitcase to go into the plane, and fly from Melbourne to Mumbai. And now I have a lizard in India. Now I know what to do. And then you can find out what happens here. So here I like to write, these are all funny stories. At the same time, I want people to understand that every creature matters. Nature matters. Super. Our environment matters. We need to be conscious of keeping the natural world as it is or not harming it any further because we all need it. We have a connect with nature and every creature is important. So I have heroes as mosquitoes. You know, mosquito as a hero. Mosquito, if a mosquito now comes and sits on my face, I'll kill it. I'm sorry. Maybe a hero in my book, but when a mosquito troubles you, you kill it. But you know that mosquitoes are also have every right to live. And cockroaches, lizards, termite, they ate my books, yet I made heroes of them in this book called Bookworm, where the hero is Aristotle. The termite's name is Aristotle because he ate the most famous book written by Aristotle called Poetics, right? Anyway, so these are the stories in this fun stories. And now I come to the book that I really wanted to tell you about, which is brought out by Westland, The Crocodile Who Ate Butter Chicken for Breakfast and Other Stories. The Crocodile Who Ate Butter Chicken for Breakfast and Other Stories, all right? Have you heard of a crocodile? Butter chicken? You had it yesterday? Yes. Okay. But butter. A crocodile eating butter chicken? Can't imagine this happening. But that's the beauty of writing. In books you can have crocodiles who eat butter chicken. And there are other stories also in this book. One is to do with squirrels. You have a story with a koala. You have a story with rabbits. You have a story with a kite, with a turkey, with monkeys, right? We love monkeys, don't we? Aren't we all monkeys? Deer, zebra, then fish. And there is this story about snails, which is called When Literature Returned to Spears Academy. I'm sorry, but I love literature so much. I try to bring in English and literature somewhere. This is the snails go to a school called Shakespeare's Academy. All right? Shakespeare's Academy. Their school's name is Shakespeare's Academy. Very well-read snails. But one snail, when he went to a lecture, he came late. So he asked another dim-wit snail, what did that lecturer say? So the lecturer said that snails go unwillingly to school. They got very angry. We are going to school regularly. We are going to Shakespeare's Academy. We are reading. We love learning. We go to school. And who is this man saying this? Then is it Shakespeare said that? And we are Shakespeare's Academy? Yeah? हिंदी में
वो मैं कर दूंगा, कोई बात नहीं, मैं कर दूंगा.
ये तो करेंगे. मुझे तो थोड़ा बहुत आता है, लेकिन जब किताब के बारे में बात करती हूँ ना तो इंग्लिश
का फ्लो आता है जी.
आपको
कोई बात नहीं, बच्चों आप समझ रहे हैं?
बच्चे आप समझ रहे हैं ना?
समझते हैं ना?
कोई नहीं समझे तो हाथ उठाओ ना. नहीं?
आप में से
आप
कितने
सब लोग समझ रहे हैं ना? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, Manish will also.
I'll definitely help them out.
You know what? When she held her hand up, I thought she was Manish. Stop looking at the watch, and she is telling me to stop. Yeah. So I will go a little slowly, maybe, because I'm conscious of time. That's why I'm trying to pack in something more than Thank you. So yes, I don't know where I stopped. So they say we are going to Shakespeare's school. We shouldn't do that, and we won't study Shakespeare. So one snail puts up whatever a snail puts up, like you put up your hand, and said, I have an idea. We will make it only spear, no shake. Shake can go. So we will have the title Spears Academy. And no learning literature. We will have only communicative English. All right? No poetry, no drama, no short stories, nothing. Only this. So that was what happened. Now there was one snail who loved libraries and reading so much that he had left looking for other libraries. He's read all the books in this library. He comes back, old snail, and he says, what is this? Spears Academy, what happened? What is the school? Then he asks these small snails, where is the library? They ask, what's a library? Don't you know what a library is? Where there are books, where you have poetry, drama. We don't know anything. So this snail says, what is happening? He goes and asks another friend, an old friend, the man who was responsible for all this.
Right.
So he takes him aside, pss, 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 pss. He whispers, what happened? Then this snail starts laughing so much that his shell wobbles. He laughs. And he says, you all are such idiots. Shakespeare did not say that. You must listen properly. I'm sure your teachers are always saying, right?
Always.
Listen carefully. Don't listen just one part of the sentence. Listen to the whole thing. It says you must listen to everything. What Shakespeare said was, he was talking about a schoolboy who is going unwillingly to school. A schoolboy like a snail going unwillingly to school, which means not that the snail is going unwillingly to school, but the boy is going, snails go very, very slowly, walk very slowly, going slowly like a snail to school. So the comparison is not to the snail, but the boy being slow. Snails go to school as fast as they can. So then they said, okay, everybody feels very bad, and they bring back literature, and that is how literature returns to Spears Academy. It goes back to being Shakespeare's Academy. That's one of the stories. Then the crocodile who ate butter chicken for breakfast, I got the idea from my son's friend, who one day said, do you know, I have a friend who always wanted to have a crocodile as a pet. Imagine a crocodile as a pet. And he kept telling everyone, who wants a cat or a dog or a parrot, or we must have I want a crocodile. One day, another friend, so many friends, brought him a basket and said, and this boy again said, I want a crocodile. He says, you want a crocodile? There. He opened the basket, one small crocodile. Hey, crocodile, you brought me a crocodile. What will I do with the crocodile? Then he is very happy. Crocodile. I have a crocodile. I have a pet. This is for me. He said, yes, it is for you. Keep it. And that friend went away. So this boy brought it and kept it under the bed. Now, I don't know whether the story is true or not. Because a friend of my son's sometimes can exaggerate. So, but I thought, wonderful idea for a story. That's not enough for a story, right? So I expanded that and made it into a proper story, where the boy takes the crocodile, hides it from his parents, tells his mother, look, you're always telling me I don't keep my room tidy. Again, I'm going to clean my room. I'll keep it neat and tidy. Don't enter my room. Because the crocodile is under the bed. And he starts feeding the crocodile. Now he's a plump boy. Because he's feeding the crocodile, he takes at supper, that day it was butter chicken. He hid it under his shirt and gave it to the crocodile, and found that the crocodile loves butter chicken. Nice crocodile. And so he tries, his friends also bring butter chicken, and this boy becomes thinner and thinner now because he's not eating. He is taking food for the crocodile. And finally, the crocodile is growing bigger. What do? So they take it, when the parents are not there, he and his friends take it to the yard and tie it to a coconut tree. All right? And nobody goes there. But one day when this boy woke up, he saw his parents running, something happening. So he also runs in his pajamas. What does he see? A man is climbing the coconut tree, and behind him the crocodile is snapping at his toes. Like that, and everybody, the others are all watching horrified. What is a crocodile doing in the backyard? And this poor frightened man is clinging on to the coconut tree saying, save me. And this boy goes and pulls down the crocodile. His name is Snappy, come down. They are all shocked. This boy behaving like this to a crocodile, and he pulls the crocodile, ties it round and ties it back to the coconut tree. Now his father suspects something. So he tells him, okay, come, tell me what happened. What is this between you and the crocodile? And then the boy tells them what happened. So the father says, all right, I don't know how you did it, but this crocodile is now going to the zoo. And the boy also says, all right, take it. He's had enough of looking after the crocodile. So that is the story. Then we have the squirrels who are called Chip and Monk, who want to be in the newspapers.
Oh.
They are seeking what?
Media
Glory,
attention.
popularity, fame. We want to be in the newspapers because foreign squirrels are in the newspapers. They hear about foreign squirrels being in the newspapers for ruining something, lots of reasons. And they manage to do that. So like that, there are lots of these stories, animal stories, fun stories, amusing stories, but along with that, you will also learn quite a bit about animals. All right, so you learn while you enjoy, you love the story, I hope, and you also understand that animals are so much a part of our lives. All right, time for questions if you have anyone.
बच्चों, आपको कोई प्रश्न है तो पूछ सकते हैं. आपने ये पूरा खैरुनिसा मैम को सुना है आपने अच्छे से कि वो सिर्फ आम चीज़ों को जैसे आप देखते हैं वैसा नहीं देखती हैं, क्योंकि वो ऑथर है और ऑथर का काम लिखना होता है वो जो शायद ह्यूमर दे, हंसी दे. हास्य एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो आम तौर पे हमें बड़े आसानी से नहीं मिलती. हम कोशिश भी कर ले, जैसे मैंने अपनी शुरुआत में कहा है कि मैं कोशिश भी कर लूँ और बेताशा कोशिश कर लूँ तो भी मेरे से ये हंसी नहीं निकलती, और मैं कोशिश भी कर लूँ कि किसी को हंसाऊँ तो हंसा नहीं पाता हूँ. आपने देखा है कि सिर्फ आम तौर पे जैसे चीज़ें दिखती है वैसे नहीं लिखती हैं मैम. मैम लिखती हैं वो चीज़ जिसमें आपको हंसी दिखाई दे, चाहे फिर वो हमारे साथ में हमारा नेचर हो या फिर वो जानवर हो जिन्हें हम रोज़ देखते हैं, जैसे लिज़ार्ड के बारे में कहा या फिर आपने स्नेल के बारे में सुना है ना. स्नेल के अपना एक पेस होता है, लेकिन एक लड़का अगर स्नेल का क्या कहते हैं परिचय बदल दे और वो लड़का वैसे हो जाए तो लड़का जिस तरह से स्नेल चलेगा वैसे चल रहा है. तो ये कहानी शायद और ये जितना भी हास्य रचा है ये बहुत ही कम लोगों को आता है, ऐसा ये हुनर है. और इसमें से जो आपको लगता है आप पूछ सकते हैं. जैसे मेरा पहला सवाल, यू राइट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल and you have evolved being a literature teacher, you being a literature student and maybe an alumni, graduate, postgraduate also, right ma'am? So very easy question is,
a college without a postgraduate degree.
so good. Yeah, that's the fact, correct. Yeah. So the thing is, writing something in literature is very difficult, and if you look at the audience point of view, literature हाथ नहीं लगाता है कोई, nobody touches. The first daring, how?
Yeah, how did I do?
How?
I always love literature, reading, even now I have to keep reading. So how I happen to write for children is what you want to know, right? From
Yeah, that too. I mean, the second question would be, yes, how did you pick up writing literature and that too adding humor? Two different difficulty honors?
Oh, no, I didn't get the first question. What you wanted was?
Writing a literature book. This is as good as a literature book, right?
Yeah.
And I wish that they have as a curriculum. Because they have almost stopped laughing and adding humor to it. You may answer whichever way, ma'am, no problem.
Okay, no.
है ना बच्चों? ऐसी किताबें आपको चाहिए? बोलिए अपने टीचरों को.
There are teachers also in my book.
And you have not...
There's a maths teacher, there's an English teacher, there is a science teacher, there's a principal, Mr. Jagmohan, who is tearing his hair so much he doesn't have much hair now because Amar is his student.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So what happened was, as I told you, I always like humor, and writing, as he said, writing for as literature is different. And when you write, it's a different kind of language that you use. But writing for children has to be something that children understand and enjoy. Now, when I started writing, I have always enjoyed reading children's books also. Even after growing up to be an adult, while reading adult books, because my son was growing up. So when you have a child at home, you keep reading those books again. And the first story that I wrote was actually for the Tinkle magazine. All right, you know the Tinkle, you know Tinkle, right? Yeah. So there was a competition, and just like that, I thought I will send an entry. So when I wrote that, I had a few ideas in my head. One is, I wanted to write a humorous story because I wanted children to be happy. Then I wanted to write a cricket-based story, sports-based.
Which is followed like anything in India.
That one thing. And cleverer reason was, there are very few sports-based stories in India.
Correct.
For children
Very
especially.
Very correct.
For older people there are, but not many. But for children, hardly any when I wrote. Absolutely. And I know sports, I love sports. Especially cricket, like you say, which is the main religion of India. And so I thought I should write a cricket-based book. Then, Butterfingers. Butterfingers is a name, I'm one of 8 children, youngest. So at home, we are always teasing each other. If somebody drops something, we call them Butterfingers. So I thought since I'm writing a cricket-based story, it will be nice to have a character who drops things, dropped catch, because I wanted some fun in the story. Brought all 3 together and wrote. So the writing like that for children was not difficult. I didn't find it. No. I didn't find it difficult. You're not the only one. A lot of people ask me, you're a college teacher.
True.
How are you writing for children? I mean, you can't, there is no correlation. I mean, there's no, just
Correct.
because you're a college teacher, you can still write.
Absolutely.
For
but you made it,
children.
simplified it so beautifully well. I think, ask them, the teachers there sitting, for the simple subject that they teach, it is very difficult for them to simplify to the student, ma'am. And humor is something I believe it is beyond syllabus. And you're doing it so fantastically well.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Anyway, because there is, when children tell me they appreciate my book, that is when and when you say so, that's when I feel fulfilled in my writing. Writing is only the first part of it. You're writing, I'm not writing just for my pleasure, in which case I'll write a diary and hide it. But I'm writing so that others will read and enjoy it. So when that happens, that is when the joy of writing is complete. So that is how you write. And as I said, humor is something that I have a weakness for. I love humorous books also. I read a lot, but humor is something that if I have to pick a few books that you place before me and ask me, take one, I will take the one which is humorous. Yeah, right, that's something that I like. And that's probably how I write humor.
Without pun intended, I think your books and your writing are a clear reflection of simple language being used and how non-living things can also be personified.
Yes.
बेजान चीज़ों को अगर जान दे दें तो वो क्या करेंगे, ये खास बात है मैम के लेखन में. और इसके अलावा जो कल्पना आप कर सकते हैं, शायद आम आदमी के हाथ में नहीं होता है कल्पना इतना करना, लेकिन मैम वो कर लेती हैं बड़े आराम से. सो डू यू नॉर्मली सी अ मैन मे बी डिफरेंटली और एन एनिमल वेरी डिफरेंटली एंड एड अ ह्यूमर एंगल ऑलवेज?
You always.
For example, a chair, non-living.
I can. Right now it's carrying my books.
See.
Actually, we thought of this chair, but she brought this chair.
This one, a small
one. This chair is better because it goes with my dress, my everything. She did not think of that. She just brought this.
Right.
So there are many things that you can think about, when something happens. If you see a person and you see somebody, I like people. I like to observe people and creatures, what they are doing. So when something is actually happening, it won't be very, it may not be humorous, but you put it in a humorous way later. Because once, there are these 2 books that I've written for older people, for adults. One is Tongue-in-Cheek, The Funny Side of Life, and brought out by Westland. And the book that came out just last month, Chuckle, Merry Spin, it is about our travel to the US. Chuckle, Merry Spin, fun travelogue. So in this Tongue-in-Cheek, there is an incident where the pressure cooker lid burst in the kitchen. Now that is a dangerous thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it happened in my house. I was in the kitchen, I was doing something, and I heard this terrible noise, and the pressure cooker rose as if it was magically lifting. And then it jumped from there to the counter, then it fell down, it started spinning around, then the weight came off and it was spraying dal all over the place. I was frightened. I've heard about disasters of this, and I was standing by waiting for everything to calm down. But when I wrote about it, it looks funny. So that is something that you do after something happens. You can distance yourself and look at it in a funny way. So I think it's time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to conclude, I wish that this would have continued for a pretty long time because I am loving it. बच्चों, आपको अंततः मैं एक ही बात कह सकता हूँ कि ऑब्जर्वेंट बनो और किस चीज़ को पहचानिए कि आपकी जैसे आप पढ़ते हैं, जैसे मैम ने कहा कि उन्होंने अपने बच्चों को पढ़ते हुए पढ़ने को और पक्का बनाया. आप ये अपने दोस्तों के लिए कर सकते हैं, अपने मित्र के साथ कर सकते हैं, जिसको पीयर टीचिंग कहते हैं. और एक खास बात, इंट्रिकसीज को पहचानिए कि बारीक बारीक चीज़ों पे ध्यान देंगे तो शायद आपका एजुकेशन भी अच्छा होगा. और मैम ने जैसे कहा है कि कम्युनिकेशन आपके सिर्फ बोलने से आएगा, कुछ करने से आएगा, पढ़ने से तो डेफिनेटली आएगा. तो आपके लिए ये संदेश जो मैम ने जो भी अपने डेलिब्रेशन में कहा, मैं आप तक पहुंचाना चाहता हूं कि पढ़ना यानी रीडिंग हैबिट ज़रूर डालें और ह्यूमर को हमेशा साथ में रखें, अपने वातावरण को हमेशा समेट के रखें, किसी भी जानवर को कहीं पीड़ित ना होते देखें क्योंकि ये हमारे जीवन का हिस्सा है. जैसे हम सांस ले रहे हैं, ऑक्सीजन अगर नहीं हो तो शायद हम जी भी नहीं पाएंगे. उस तरह से हमारे साथ में जितने भी लोग हैं, शायद हम हमारे दोस्तों के बारे में बोल सकते हैं, हमारे मित्र के साथ, सहपाठी के बारे साथ में बोल सकते हैं. तो इन सब का एक सार है जो अपने खैरुन्निसा मैम अपने किताबों के जरिए आप तक पहुंचाना चाहती है. और मैं चाहूँगा कि जितने किताबों का नाम लिया है, मैंने इंटेंशनली restrain myself on not mentioning the other part of it. Award-winning author, and she has published 4 books during the last year, and it is so fantastic as in terms of accomplishment. So I wish, ma'am, you keep writing. There are a lot of animals, a lot of human angles still explored. So I wish you do that and make us smile as you have been doing. Right? Thank you very much.